Hello, my little Luxes. Welcome to another episode of Charcy Chats, and I am your host, Charcy Lux. Normally, for the longest time, I was doing cosplay. I'm still going to be doing cosplay, but I am taking a break and a reprieve from dressing up in costume and makeup and everything. So I've also been enjoying getting back to working on my art and my paintings. And so I've been enjoying making these videos where they've been voiceovers so that you can see the process of how I've been working on some of my paintings, / kind of looks like a drawing, especially for what is going on in this one, because a lot of the paintings that I do is mixed media. And technically, when I start going over top of the paintings with gel pens and that kind of medium, that it kind of becomes a painting / drawing, but whatever, enough about my art and my process and everything like that. But I am here today to talk about where have I been. Now, if you are brand new to my channel, which I have noticed that even on my steady break that I took for the last couple of weeks, that I still had several brand new subscribers come in. So welcome, hello, welcome to the crazy domain that is me and my mind. And we always go on really wild rides here because you know what, my brain is always all over the place and my brain works faster than my mouth does. So you will probably hear me slur or mispronounce my words several times. Needed to get on here and to talk to everybody and let you know what's been going on. And for the last couple of weeks, I've had a really, really rough time. The best way to get into this is to talk about what has been going on for the past few years, because obviously there needs to be a backstory so that you can understand why we have gotten to where we are right now. And like I said, I've been taking a break from social media. I didn't post anything online for Instagram or X. I haven't posted anything for YouTube, and I have one last story from my other channel that I am no longer using anymore for the scary stories my father told me, that I brought it back to this one because I had realized I don't want several channels. I just want the one channel, and it drives me nuts when I have to go back and forth and all kinds of different things. I also have the Patreon, but I've been enjoying doing my vlog series on there that I've been talking about and getting to the root of things, of where my depression kind of like stemmed from. And I still have other parts that I want to process through, but I just got done putting up the first part of it where I talked about the loss of my father and my neighbor, and kind of diving deep into the emotions of where that started, the depression. But there was a lot more a part of it as well. But so, to go to the point of what is going on, is that in 2021, I started getting severely sick, and it was regularly happening. And this is coming from a person who used to get sick once a year. It usually was a cold, and I rarely ever got the flu. So if I would get the flu, it would be horrendous. Like, I'd be flat out on my back for like 2-3 days straight and just not able to even function. But it was rare for me to get the flu. Like, I would want to say that I'd maybe get the flu once every 5 years, if even that. So this coming from a person who hardly ever got sick. Like, I feel very blessed how I used to be, I should say. That I'm realizing now, after everything that I've been going through, how blessed I really was. It was shortly after I had the vaccine in April of 2021 was when I started realizing and I started tracking, and because I started journaling and trying to figure out how often I was getting sick, because I was calling off work all the time, and it got to the point where my boss was even complaining. But I had also noticed that every time that I was getting sick, since I was getting ill once a month, and it wasn't like some little thing, like it was severe migraines, atrocious abdominal pain, cramps that were so bad that I couldn't do anything but lay and no matter what I did, like it was just pain. I had bloating that was so ridiculous that I would look like I was pregnant. That's how bloated I was. And the list could go on. And as time was progressing, like each and every time, these symptoms were getting worse and worse. And that's when I started noticing that every single time I was getting sick, it was around my menstrual cycle. And it was so repetitive enough that even my coworkers noticed and my husband noticed. So that's when it's like, okay, I need to go and see a doctor. Because you know, at first you think, okay, maybe this is just a fluke, and you just kind of go through it. And then once it's to the point where it is consistent, it is every month, then it turns into, okay, I need to get some expert help here. I need somebody to help me figure out what is going on. Obviously, with everything going on, with COVID and quarantine and all that going on, that we just weren't getting to the source. So for years, I was going through different procedures, different doctors, different places, and trying to find somebody who would take me seriously. But it wasn't until earlier this year that I finally found a new doctor, and she took me seriously. And this time I just was a lot better in explaining it, because it had been to the point where I knew when I was going to be getting sick, and it was always around my menstrual cycle. The only thing is that it would trade up what day I was sick, because for the longest time I could pinpoint and figure out that it was always going to be the last day of my cycle that I would be sick. Well, then it started being at the beginning, and then it would just sporadically like be a few days before it would even start. So it was like, okay, clearly it revolves around this. So it has something to do with my hormones. It has something to do with that. So when talking with this doctor, that's what I told her. And she immediately took me seriously, which was amazing in itself, because this was the first time someone was listening to me, and she started talking about different possibilities of what it could be. So her focus was going to be, and what she was thinking, especially with the symptoms, she was thinking that it was either thyroid or endometriosis. And hopefully I'm pronouncing those correctly. I can never pronounce scientific names correctly. I guess I should say never. Every once in a blue moon I can. But so going through and different processes and that, and doing blood work, was able to narrow it down. Luckily it's not thyroid, so it's looking as if it is endometriosis. Now, in order to get a clear 100% diagnosis for it being endometriosis, they actually have to do surgery to even see if you have it. Well, I haven't had that scheduled, and that seems to my doctor, I should say, it seems to her that it's a last resort type of thing. They don't want to just go in and do it, that they want to try other means before they get to that point. There were several different suggestions that were made to me, and one of them was to put me on birth control to see if that could regulate things and get it to the point where my hormones were mellowed out, to see if it could stop the migraines, because the problem with the migraines is that they are severe. that they are debilitating. I cannot move. I am usually in a fit of vomiting. It's that bad, and it's nothing but severe pain. Everything hurts. My joints, my muscles is nothing but pain. So they are hoping to start with the birth control, but I have a strong fear against it because I was on birth control when I was in college. And back when I was on it, I gained a lot of weight. So I have that fear that that will happen again. And the reason why I know that that was causing me to gain so much weight was the fact that as soon as I took myself off of it in 2012, within a month I lost 10 pounds. And so I know that I need to be very, very conscious of my diet and what I'm doing. And the other thing is the fact that I've been doing so well recently, especially with the mutant muscle, that I've been able to lose weight, I've been able to tone, and so it's one of those things where it's going to feel very heartbreaking to have all that work maybe become null and void because of being on the pill. Obviously, that's something that I'm going to monitor and keep track of. So 2.5 weeks ago is when I finally started taking the medication, or taking the pill. And immediately I started getting symptoms. And the symptoms, the best way that I can put it is that it is all the negative responses that I was getting while I was on my cycle, but without the actual cycle. So I was getting the cramping, I was getting the bloating, I was getting the discomfort, I was getting the pain, I was getting the nausea, I was vomiting. And it was like every other day that I was severely ill. Obviously, my fear for everything going on, and with that I wanted to stop taking it. Well, luckily, I've been in contact with several different women who have experienced or had endometriosis themselves, and letting me know that, yes, being on the pill at first is going to suck, and that it takes a good 30 to 60 days before my body will adjust to what is going on. 30 to 60 days of going through these symptoms and everything. I have to be patient, and I have to see if the results are going to end up showing up. And I mean, I know this myself. I have said that in the mutant muscle before, that it takes 21 days for something to become a habit. It takes 1 to 2 months to start seeing results. And it takes 180 days for something to become a lifestyle. So I even know this. So in a month or two, I shall see if I'm going to continue on this pill journey or not, and I'll see what's going on. But yeah, so in order to make a long story short, that's what's been going on, is that I have been consistently sick for the past couple of weeks, and with me in that state, that unfortunately it has put my hormones all out of whack. So emotionally and mentally, I have been pretty unstable as well. So a lot of things were affecting me, and one of those other things where I can safely say that there were probably simple problems that were also going on that to me felt more dramatic than what they were. Granted, there were a couple of situations that were going on that I also know and understand that were not good things going on as well, but yeah, and also at the same time, this was going on for my birthday weekend, and I definitely know that a lot of you have sent me birthday wishes, and I love and appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the wonderful, wonderful birthday wishes. Over time, as I'm going to start coming back into social media and everything, I will get to everybody's messages, I will get to everybody's comments. So thank you so much for all the wonderful, wonderful birthday wishes. And your girl is 37 years old, so yay for that. But yeah, like I said, I wanted to pop in here, give you all an update, let you know what's been going on, why I've been MIA, but I'm hanging in there. I am definitely hanging in there. And I'm in better spirits than what I was. And like I said, it's just one of those things where I'm always constantly saying that our physical health and our mental and emotional health really do go hand in hand. And it makes sense that if I was starting and getting the endometriosis in 2021, and it makes sense for it also being a part of the trigger to my depression and everything else that was going on. And of course, we all know how severe my depression got and how dark my thoughts got. So as I continue to work on myself and to continue getting better, and it's also why I'm always going to be a huge advocate for working on yourself and loving yourself, and for the fact that it's like I will always be there for others to help root them on and encourage them, and also know that I am always struggling myself, and we're not all perfect. No one is perfect. We have to remind ourselves of that. And to never compare yourself to others. We all have our own struggles. We all have our own fights and battles to get through. And always remember that not everything we see on social media is what's going on in the background. Life isn't always just rainbows and perfect little bows and butterflies and happy moments. That there's a lot of darkness underneath. Like I said, I wanted to get on here and let you all know what's been going on. I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. Yes, every day is still a struggle. In fact, I even woke up this morning with a migraine, and it's the first time I've had a migraine as one of the symptoms. So I kind of trying to be on the positive side and thinking, maybe this one is actually weather related, maybe sinus related, but it could be a symptom of the pill as well. But anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening to me, and thank you for watching me work on my latest art piece. And if you are interested in this one at all, or any of my other art pieces, there will be a link in my bio or my description to Charcy Charms, which is my Etsy shop. And also thank you for just being here with me, and you are all appreciated, and I have definitely missed you during this time of me just having this break. And if you are interested in any of my other social medias, there will be a link in the description down below, and also a link to my Patreon. And like I said, that there is a lot of things going on in my Patreon that no one else will ever have access to, and vlogs that are exclusive to there, photos that are exclusive to there. In fact, even though I was taking my media break from everywhere else, I was still consistently posting on my Patreon at least. And like I said, I am working on my vlog series in there that is my getting to the root of things, and that is an exclusive vlog that will only be on my Patreon as well. I want to give a huge thank you to all of my Patreon members, and thank you so much for helping to support me and being there with me. You are all appreciated. And a special shout out to my Ultimate Lux, to Kurt. And remember, I am the afterlife of the party, but I would love for you to join me in the afterlife of the party. And always remember to slay, subscribe, like, and always be yourself. And until next time, my little Luxes, I shall talk to you soon. Bye.